Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 3 new Warriors death lineup. Steve Kerr can use to his advantage. The Golden State Warriors had arguably the most eventful offseason in the NBA, from Klay Thompson's departure to failed trades for Paul George and Lauri Markkanen. There was plenty going on behind the scenes. Credit where credit is due. Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office made an earnest attempt to improve the roster around Stephen Curry. In the twilight of his career, Klay naturally commanded the majority of the headlines. He was a staple of perhaps our greatest dynasty. Of course his exit made waves, but the Warriors quietly got better on the margins. Anthony Melton, Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson are all cheap, impactful role players added to Golden State's depth chart. Meanwhile, we can expect meaningful internal growth from the likes of Brandon Podmski, Jonathan Kuminga and Tracy Jackson-Davis. Golden State has a fresh look. This season the backbone remains the same, and it will always start with Steph, but the Warriors are going to be a better team in 2024-25. I'm willing to stake my claim on that take. Please do not save receipts. Their willingness to engineer a blockbuster trade is also promising. There's a non-zero chance we get a major Warriors upgrade mid-season if the right all-star becomes available. For now, let's focus on the roster at hand and how Steve Kerr can maneuver his new pieces around. Thompson's shooting is out of the equation, but Golden State has another historic three-point marksman in Hield, as well as plus with defenders in Melton and Anderson. Here are a few potentially fun lineup combinations that Steve Kerr can unveil in high-leverage situations. Lineup number 3: real hoopers only. PG Stephen Curry, SG Brandon Podziemski, SF Buddy Hield, PF Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green. This is just fun. It's hard to formulate a more potent offensive unit from the Warriors' current personnel. There are potential defensive fissures that may arise, but Draymond D remains an all-world backbone, and Podziemski can handle tough assignments on the perimeter. If Kuminga can take another step on defense, this becomes all the more feasible. The combined gravity of Curry, Hield and Podziemski would be an immediate handful for opposing defenses. Hield has been better in theory than in actuality over the last couple of years, but the shooting is very much real. He will fire from deep at various angles with absolute confidence. Add his hair-trigger threes to Steph's constant movement in tandem with Podziemski's spot-up prowess and connective passing, and the Dubs' backcourt gets quite exciting to think about. In the front court, Draymond does his standard Draymond stuff, running DAO point, setting screens and working various two-man actions along the perimeter. Kuminga is the blunt force, a dynamic downhill attacker with the speed, strength and physicality to overwhelm most defenders on an island. With the floor spread 5 out, there should be no shortage of driving lanes for Kuminga. This feels like a real potential closing lineup for the Dubs, especially if Hield finds his second wind in Steve Kerr's offense, which feels distinctly plausible. Lineup number 2: all defense all the time. PG Stephen Curry, SG Brandon Podziemski, SF to Anthony Melton, PF Draymond Green, Kevin Looney. It will be fascinating to see if we can get a slightly better version of Kevin Looney in 2024-2. Last season's Looney shouldn't be near the floor in crunch time. Vintage Looney, however, was a silent staple of Golden State's success and one of the 100-odd best players in the NBA. There are versions of this lineup with Tracy Jackson-Davis that are equally viable, while small ball defense lineups with Draymond and Kyle Anderson in the front court also check out. Logically, ex-Warrior star calls out scared people for ranking Stephen Curry above Kyrie Irving. Nick Young posted a bold statement on his X account, causing confusion among NBA fans. In the tweet, Young compared Kyrie Irving to Kobe Bryant and Stephen Curry to Michael Jordan. Fans on social media were unsure how to react to Young's post, with some poking fun at the former player and others attempting to analyze his intentions. Ultimately, Young's remarks sparked mixed reactions among basketball enthusiasts. Kyrie is the Kobe to Curry MJPPL, scared to say he's better. Nick Young wrote on X, serving one of the best handlers in the league, has not achieved the same level of success as Curry due to poor performances and controversial moves throughout his career. Curry has amassed championships assists and MVP awards and has broken numerous NBA records. In contrast, Irving has only secured one championship and lacks significant individual awards on his resume. Therefore, it is difficult to argue that Irving surpasses Curry. Nick Young's comparison might not be up to the mark, as Kobe Bryant is certainly considered the best shooting guard after Michael Jordan. Bryant was close in the list of achievements to Jordan and was just one championship behind Jordan. Nick Young joined the Golden State Warriors for a single season in 2018. He Warriors, who were in the midst of their dynasty at the time, went on to capture another championship with Young as a key contributor. Recently, Young made a special guest appearance on Gilbert Arenas' podcast where he reflected on his experience playing for the Warriors. On the podcast, Young talked about the neat-doc battle both Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant had for the Finals MVP trophy. Young stated that just because of a rough Game 3 in the Finals in which Curry wasn't able to find his rhythm, his helps for the Finals MVP closed out. Young even mentioned about Curry being upset after the game with his head down in the locker room. I remember they was neck to neck, KT and Steph. Then Steph had one bad game. KT was hitting locker room, head was down damn near tears. Nick Young said via Gil's Arena, out of his 4 championships with the Warriors, Curry managed to win the Finals MVP only once. He was always the close second. Durant won the Finals MVP twice and Andre Iguodala won it once. Curry finally managed to win the Finals MVP in the Warriors' 2022 championship victory. Warriors urged to sign Boban Marjanovic. The Heavy asked the Warriors to add Marjanovic, who is an unrestricted free agent. Boban can help on the court in very short periods. Dunlap wrote he's 36 years old and has never played more than 681 minutes in any season and hasn't played more than 271 in his last 4 years. He won't play much. It will definitely be situational. A chess piece for the new coach to use at his discretion. The Warriors were the worst offensive rebounding team in the league in 2023-24, securing just 8.2 per game. It's a small sample size, but Ben is averaging 5.0 offensive rebounds per 36 minutes for his career and could help with that off the court. Boban is a great guy, a great influence in the locker room. Have you ever heard a bad word about him? Absolutely not. Think about your coworkers for a minute. Are you more focused, work more efficiently, and are your results better when you work with people who make you happy? Of course yes, it's human, Nat. Your Boban is just one of those affable people who makes everyone around him smile with a minimum contract. Why not take a chance? The Warriors did not make any free agency moves or trades this offseason. The team lost to the Denver Nuggets in the first round of the 2024 playoffs in 5 games. The Nuggets also beat the Lakers in the 2023 Western Conference Finals in 4 games. The Warriors coach told SiriusXM NBA Radio that Warriors is looking to add a center, Marjanovic, who has career averages of 5.5 points, 3.6 rebounds, 0.5 assists, 0.2 steals and 0.3 blocks, could fit that profile. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Boban Marjanovic? Leave your opinion in the comments.